You know, one of the fascinations about curly hair is it comes in so many forms. Hair's not black or white, it's kinky, curly, or straight. That's the options. Whatever comes in your doorway as a salon hairdresser, you've got to be prepared to face that challenge. I've decided to disconnect a couple of little isolated pieces.
With curly hair, you have to really appreciate what curly hair really does. It's an opportunity to be able to put a really nice shape into it.
You need to read it. Being able to see the different curls and turning it into something amazing. I want to pull a little bit from the other side so my blonde actually connects the dots.
So people sometimes born with a curly hair, sometimes we get to create curly hair. I recreate the curls with a perm. I just want to get a little bit kind of slightly bent.
When I think of naturally curly hair, I think of freedom and individuality. I want it to look very defined and very open, and that the color comes from within.
I really take into consideration how that curl pattern actually lays as it's naturally living on the head. Going through that zigzag parting is going to really help to blend.
There's a million ways you want to see curl and how you can transcend curl to really become alive and functional.
It is easy if you kind of follow education and let Paul Mitchell be your teacher on how to get the best results.
So when it comes to a relationship with curly hair clients, I think there's one thing you need to know. If you get one guest of yours addicted to your technique, the reality is they know 100 people just like them.
With curly hair, you have to really appreciate what curly hair really does.
Not just being great to satisfy today's guest, but truly be able to encapsulate every curly client in the world.
I really take into consideration how that curl pattern actually lays as it's naturally living on the head.
When you look at the high fashion catwalk and all the runways type of stuff, it's taken of an inspiration of curl, but it's kind of plus, it's added to.
Research shows that 75% of curly-haired guests use 3 or more products on their hair daily. This is a great opportunity for me as the hairdresser behind the salon to offer the take-home opportunities that come with Paul Mitchell curls.
These are clients that often use products in the shower. They're very used to combing products through in the shower, and the one thing I love about them, they're always open to trying something new. You know, there's so many ways curl can be had. God can give it to you. The reality is Takashi can perm it in, and there is one other way, which is using Pro Tools. Heat is one of the best friends. The one thing I love about these products, they're activated by heat, and you can still, as a studying hairdresser, make these styles become as glamorous as you want just by adding a little bit of the Pro Tool concept on top of your beautiful result.
It really is the responsibility of us, the hairdresser, to make sure that when we cut that hair, it's going to land right where it needs to be, that they're getting exactly what they want.
One of the things I loved about Paul as a young hairdresser is hearing his vision to shower with every woman in America. Well, it wasn't about getting in the shower with them, it was giving them the tools that make hair perform. That's truly what we're looking for as Paul Mitchell, the company.
Every fabric needs its own specific cleanser. We at Paul Mitchell have different categories that would really help you when you're in the wash house identify the needs of each guest.
There's 4 great products to introduce to you, and we started off with our spring-loaded detangling shampoo.
It's 0 sulfates and 0 frizz.
It has a brilliant moisturizing effect on hair, and you can actually comb it through, so it detangles hair while you're shampooing.
So again, this curly hair client, which we know we're not filming your bathroom, we just know that your hair needs control. So we're really thinking about control, and it starts in the shower with a good preparation.
Research shows that 75% of curly-haired guests use 3 or more products on their hair daily.
But what's bringing it to the next level is our full circle leave-in treatment. It's just going to help to kind of give that curl its therapy it needs and revive it to give it that natural texture.
A little bit through the hair just helps detangle it and set it right. It's kind of a thirst quencher for hair.
A great product I love to use with that is our Twirl Around Crunch-Free Curl Definer.
What I love is this product has 2 different elements in it. It's crunch-free curl definer.
It consists of both cream and gel that goes in and just defines each and every wave into a perfect ringlet.
So your client can use a little or a lot, just depending on where the hair needs a little control.
My next option is Ultimate Wave. It's a beachy texture cream gel.
That's just going to go in and give you that beachy texture, that natural enhancement of each and every curl.
No forced-looking hair kind of feel to it, so I like those products that when she wants to go to the beach or not wearing nice casual clothes, this product is good to use.
Just the right amount of definement and control. Use it as you may, you're going to get great results.
Depending on how she wants to wear her hair is how she can choose the product she wants to use for that day.
This is my lovely guest, Vanessa. We're gonna be going through a dimensional color technique. I'm gonna start with 3 dimensional panels, working off of the top, and that's just gonna be a small halo. So moving on into my next panel, within my sectionings, going through that zigzag parting is gonna really help to blend the 3 different panels. Now, starting my application, I'm gonna be working from the bottom, our coolest, darkest tone. I'm just gonna outline my section. It's gonna help me through her curly texture. Now that I have the base taken care of, I'm just gonna go through and color on the ends, trying to wrap that panel so it can all live and process together. So we'll give a closed packet foil. Working in our second formulation, we will have equal parts of 4A and 4RV. I'm just gonna go through and outline, really making sure I can hit that saturation between each zigzag. But then you want to go back through and move that hair side to side to be sure each curl and lock is fully saturated. And moving on to our top panel here, our light tone will be equal parts of 5WM, our warm mahogany, and our high lift HLG series. Applying to the darkest of the base first. Through this second application, I'm really using my hands to make sure of that saturation. So you can see our dimensional technique working through 3 different panels, our darker portion through the bottom, that middle tone right through here, both sides of that color wheel, warm and cool tones, and then our top portion, really that spotlight to just put a little bit of that lightness through Vanessa's hair. Just imagine that color through the expansion of her texture and curl.
What I think of when I think of naturally curly hair, I think of freedom and individuality. So I chose to do a technique that is more free using hand-picked highlights. So I'm going to take a round section and I'm going to use my 20 volume cream developer with Synchro Lift lightener, and I'm going to hand pick and place each highlight around her head. I don't want her hair to look very solid. I want it to look very defined and very open, and that the color comes from within and not just right on the top side. So again, using my hand-picked technique, I'm going to lay my foil down and I'm going to apply my Synchro Lift lightener directly onto her hair. Her hair is dictating the placement to me, and I'm just going to work right around her head strategically. When I get that little bit of an orangey color underneath that I'm hoping for, when I apply the 6RV PM Shines over everything, she's going to have a brilliant, shiny color that also has bits of red violet that come through. You'll really see the ruby slippers. This section here right on top works well for me. I'm actually not going to highlight any of this. This will be my veil. If Dominique was a virgin head of hair, I could choose Palmito Professional color with my desired end result, lay that in, and leave this as a color veil, so again, it masquerades any grow out. I chose to use the Synchro Lift on Dominique's hair because she was previously colored. Since color doesn't lift color, I needed to put a little bit of space and lightness through her hair. And then the PM Shines is really going to add that lubrication and shine and hydration onto her hair to really hydrate it and quench her thirst. So it's quite repetitious, but very quick and effective. I feel like you get a lot of bang for your buck with this. It's not a ton of foils, but it'll cover all of her hair. And then last but not least, my final section, right there, laid in between those 2, brick laid. And then there we go. Dominique is all set. A full head of highlights specifically done for her beautiful curly hair.
This is my beautiful guest, Beth, and what I'm excited about is when I look at her curl and I look at her blonde, how can I get the best out of refacing her blonde and adding color? That's what I'm going to show you, a great technique today. So we're going to start with some foiling with our Synchro Lift lightener, and I'm going to place my foils in where they connect at the top, moving back. So we have 2 colors that we're going to alternate. I want to kind of take her back to a little bit more natural, so I'm going to add our 9NG, our 6NG in one application, and then I'm going to use 7N and 6BV to kind of give her a tawny little brown. I'm going to let her hairline be the guide, and wherever the curl breaks, that's where I get my break. If we think about highlighting, I'm picking up about 50% of the hair, pulling it out of the way and laying in my foil, just right in the top line, taking that excess product on, and I'm just going to create a little bit of a triangle. And here's where I'm going to come in with my PM Shines. The most important thing is working it down to make sure that my application is thorough. I love starting with the lighter tone in the front. Once I have the blonde from the Synchro Lift, the PM Shines is going to make that through. So now I'm going to come in, and what I want to do is I want to pull a little bit from the other side so my blonde actually connects the dots. So this is the first time I'm going to choose my next color, and as I head to the back of her hair, I'm just going to continue on the diagonal and just continue alternating the PM Shines. So I'm going to lift all the foil away, so right up in the front hairline here. Again, starting off the same rhythm, Synchro Lift right at the base, and I'm going to take diagonal back sections. So here's our finished side, and what we've done is we've started in the front with light, and then followed through. All I wanted to do was give her a little love and a little shine on her hair from the PM Shines, so I alternated my colors of PM Shines.
Hi, I'm Angus Mitchell, and I'm working with curly texture. Really, for me, when you have curly texture, it's an opportunity to be able to put a really nice shape into it. She has a beautifully shaped face, but the most amazing part of her face is her eyes, her cheekbones, and her jawline. So I'm going to create a shape, and it's going to take your eye and focus it right on the most beautiful parts of her face. I have pre-sectioned her with a little halo section at the crown area. You have to really appreciate what curly hair really does. It begins to expand. That's why when you're cutting curly hair, you have to always make sure that you keep it consistently wet. And as you're working through diagonal back curve sections, you have to trust in the technique. Working in towards the nape is when my fingers are going to start to work in tighter. So I'm working everything up until there isn't any hair anymore. When you switch onto the other side, your finger position changes. Now I'm working with my fingertips driving around the shape, keeping the fingers and the elevation quite low. For me, when I'm cutting hair, it's never about grabbing as much hair as possible. It's working consistently with the amount of hair that we take down. So as I'm sectioning for my next cutting, I'm not trying to get all the hair down at one time. That helps me with my consistency of my overall shape. We're just connecting the points now. The back is going to start to crisscross. Cross-checking is not meant to change the shape, it's just check in the shape. Now I take down the halo section, and I'm going to cut that halo section in half and work in the center concave shape. And then we'll do one more crossover past the middle. It really is the responsibility of us, the hairdresser, to make sure that when we cut that hair, it's going to land right where it needs to be, that they're getting exactly what they want.
We're going to be styling Vanessa's hair today with Twirl Around, our crunch-free curl definer. You can see it consists of both cream and gel to go in and enhance that beautiful curl into a perfect ringlet. I'll start off working that right into each and every wave, really bringing out the shape. What I love about the Twirl Around is it's great for a nice wash and wear where it can dry naturally or be enhanced to the next level with the diffuser.
If I put a picture of a guest in my mind, it's a curly hair client that feels that their hair cannot be understood. I am so honored to work on Dominique as a guest today, and the thing I really love about it, she's got a beautiful texture hair, and she is the perfect canvas for the haircut that I want to give her. So what I've done to prepare for the haircut, I put in full circle. Now this is a leave-in treatment. Now this makes a lot of sense, but obviously because I'm using the Paul Mitchell carving comb, this is going to give me a little bit more slip. Tension on curly can be your friend. We're often seen where it shrinks up. What if we anticipate that shrink? I'm going to show you a beautiful salon reality technique. So let's begin the haircut. I've decided to disconnect a couple of little isolated pieces. So what I'm really looking for is a natural fall right over these little pieces that are left in for later. So I'm going to separate the front from the back. First thing is getting a good grip of it, locking in, locking down, never letting go till you break through it. And if we just go for a visual result here, you can already see the explosion of curl starting to pop. And all this surface hair has already been cut because of the dynamic of the carving comb. It's one of my favorites for curly hair. There's a million ways you want to see curl. I think it speaks. It's got more gravity in its favor. It's more graphic. You can see it from a distance. You can see it from Nebraska. Follow in one last time. How far I pull back will have a lot to do it. Based on her prior haircut experience, I'm kind of working off what's in there naturally. I'm going to follow through all the way into the heavier side of the hair, including the fringe. So the first section is really an expansion of a triangle. I'm going to cut here, short to long. And I'm then going to think of my carving comb, not so much like a cutting tool, but more like a pencil. And I'm just going to draw that framework right into the haircut. Curly hair is not for the weak-minded, it's for confident women. And when you can tame it, it's the most beautiful fabric in the world. So the last section, just to make everything tie in, make sure it's all connected. A little in, a little out. Now these magical little areas here are something for later. Are the old lengths that were already in our haircut. Look at these little fun ones here. I chose for the open side to get some of these extra pieces, and I love the front line the way it was. So I'm gonna start with a little product application. I'm gonna use Ultimate Wave. This is incredible beachy texture. I'm gonna put that all over her head. And I'm also very curious about a lot of the hairline hair. I'm gonna put the product in. I'm gonna give it a little brush through her combs, make sure those little hairliney hairs are taken care of. Now I'm going to kind of squeeze it backwards a little bit. I'm going to use something separate on the tendrils so you can see the two different liquids. So as they're coming out the chamber, they're actually mixing for you, and that's what we're going to use to twirl around these isolated disconnections. This will help these little pieces have a little different behavior. What you see here is what you're going to get dry, and then just let it dry naturally, or a little diffuser could be the key. So here we have the Express Ion Dry. Look at this, it just fits right in the head. And I'll do the same once I get to the top. This is a little way to dry the hair, but without dispersing it. I can't believe how quickly, real time, you see in this dry. It's a very soft, unkept, looks very natural. Absolutely needs a great haircut to keep the shape, to help the reality of it.
Hi everyone, this is Bianca, my model. So I just cut her hair, beautiful graduate bob. And then once I put the perm today, she's gonna have a little bit more body to it, a little bit softer kind of curls to it. So now I just like to pre-section just on the top area. I like to go a little bit more diagonal to it. So I like to take a section about 2 inches wide just on the top area. So on the ends area, I like to get a little looser tension. And then as I roll, I like to get a little bit stronger tension. I like to kind of change that pattern a little bit so she don't have definite line to it. So since this area here has got a little bit shorter, so I'm going to bring that load size a little bit smaller. I use my tail comb to put the ends in all the way. So key here is make sure paper is nice and wet so the hair stick on the paper. So now hair is getting shorter, so I'm going to size down the loads again. So once again, the stem is going to be quite low, so I don't want to get too much volume on the top. Okay, now I'm going to work on the top area. So I'm not really looking for a curly look on the fringe area. I just want to get a little bit kind of slightly bent, making sure my tension is going to be nice and loose. So especially just on the surface area, you kind of have to concentrate on the hairline here too, on the visible area, making sure you put all the papers in or lots in. So once I do this, then I like to spray her hair again, so to get the consistent moisture into her hair before I put the palm lotion on it. This occasion, my lotion choice is exothermic. So keys here is I never want to put the lotion on the scalp. So one by one, very gentle. So I'm gonna go top area first. So once I apply all the lotion, so here's my lapped look. And then once she put the cap on, after 10 minutes, she's gonna have a beautiful curly hair. So after we process perm solution for about 7 minutes, as you can see, nice and loose wave, I use twirl around to be able to get that nice defined kind of curl texture to it. So as you can see, it's not crunchy looking, it's nice and soft. And as you can see the shape of it, keep it nice kind of consistent texture all the way to the bottom.